Hello, welcome to episode 2 of the Middle Ground podcast. Today I've got some exciting stuff to talk about. I've got two big pieces of news to break and a few things that I want to cover. So we shall dive straight in. The biggest topic of today's podcast is about the gap between talking about things and actually doing things. I think it's the gap where a lot of people get stuck. This is the gap where I got stuck for a long time. And I think it's the biggest reason why people don't get to do the things they want to do. Because they believe that something else lies in that gap. There's a plane going past, by the way. I don't know if you can hear that. They believe that something else lies in that gap other than them actually just deciding to do the thing that they want to do. Which sounds stupid, but I promise it will make sense. Realizing you can just do stuff is one of the most freeing things. Because there's nothing holding you back then. There's no umming and ahhing, or you waiting for something to come and make the decision for you, or save the day, or drag you along your way. It's very much just, I want to go do this. I'm going to go and do this. And people seem to not really understand that is how life works. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I didn't realize that for a long time, but I feel like I see it in a lot of people that are talkers. I see a lot of people that are just purely talkers and not doers. And as someone that over the past couple of years has become very do-oriented, it's very annoying. Because I used to be the same way, in that I used to talk, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And then I'd never wouldn't even make the first step towards doing it. And now I'm at the point where I won't really talk about things unless I'm already in the process of doing them, or if I have the plan of how I'm going to do them and what I'm going to do. So I think it's so important to understand that you just go and do shit. You do just go and do shit. Talking about things and doing things, I'm not going to get too scientific, but I have heard this, and I believe I've read a study on it. Talking about things and doing things produce similar, like dopamine, serotonin spikes in the brain, right? So if you do say, you ran a marathon, right? That produces a dopamine spike in the brain. You achieved a goal. We're very goal-oriented. We've got hundreds of thousands of years of reward systems ingrained into us. We are goal-oriented people. We like to achieve things, right? It means survival, I suppose, in an evolutionary way. So when you achieve something, you get that dopamine spike. But funnily enough, when you talk about doing things, you also get a dopamine spike in the brain. I can't remember if it's the same, similar. I know that they both spike your dopamine. You'll know this. If you tell someone, how many people would say they're going to run a marathon and don't run a marathon? Because it gives them some sort of happiness, right? It makes them feel like they've somewhat already achieved the goal that they're setting out to do. And it's why talking about things is very dangerous. Because you can talk about it enough and you begin to feel like you've already achieved the thing that you haven't even set out to do yet. So you don't feel as motivated to go and do it, because why the fuck would you? You've already felt like you've achieved it. So there's no real point in going and doing it now. And again, it's why I try to refrain from talking about things unless I'm in the process of doing them, or if I know for a fact that I'm about to go and do it. And this is what I will talk about in this episode. There are two things that I have talked about because I'm in the process of setting up. Talked about with friends and family. I haven't talked about on social media at all. But one of them is in the works, and one of them is definitively happening. I have purchased the tickets. But let me talk a little bit more about talking and doing and realizing that you can do stuff first, and then I'll dive into the things that I'm going to do that I'm very excited about. So, this podcast is a really good example of closing the gap. It's really important that the gap between you doing something, or the gap between you talking about something and starting to do something, is as small as possible, because it gives you less time to feel the effects of having talked about it. This podcast is a perfect example. This time last week, the thought of doing a podcast crossed my mind for the first time. And now I'm recording the second episode. Do you see what I mean? If I had thought about it and, contemplated it much longer, I would have found many reasons to talk myself out of it. I would have found everything in the world. Everything pops up. We're very good at making excuses. We don't like doing things. It's hard to find reasons to do things. It's easy to find reasons not to. That's great coffee. Very easy to find reasons not to do things. And the more time we give ourselves, the more likely we are to not do things, which is not effective because we get to the end of our life and we realize we haven't done anything because we've talked ourselves out of every single thing. Not good. Not what I want to achieve when I reach the end of my life. So closing that gap, shortening the amount of time of you having an idea about doing something and taking the first steps to do it, whether it's booking a plane ticket, whether it's signing up for an event, whether it's talking to a person. As soon as you set those steps in motion, you're kind of more than halfway. I think starting, paradoxically, is more than halfway of the journey of doing something because you've pushed the boulder down the hill and then the rest obviously doesn't do itself, but it's being done. There's not really any other option. If you book a marathon, you're going to fucking run it. But if you say you're going to run a marathon, I just need to train for it first, and then you start training, and then you realize that marathon training is really hard, and then you're like, actually, I'm not going to run a marathon. Whereas if you've got that marathon booked, you're going to do it because you've paid for it, right? I keep using the example of a marathon, but that's because it's probably just the most relatable that people hear all the time. So, just shorten the amount of time. Think about something, do something. Think about something, do something. Take the first step, book a ticket, whatever it is. And you will notice that you end up doing more shit. You have more memories, you have more experiences under your belt because you're no longer waiting for the perfect moment, for the perfect time, for the stars to align before you go and do things. You're just going, okay, I want to do this. Sick. I'm going to go do it. Some of the best experiences I've ever had have been as a result of not thinking about something enough, probably, right? The 6 weeks I spent in the Canary Islands alone when I was 18, if I had thought about that any more than I did, which was very little, I wouldn't have gone because I probably would have realized how homesick I'd be, how scary it'd be, how challenging it might be. I probably would have gone, oh, well, it's probably easier if I just stay at home and continue what I'm doing, continue working and, don't really push myself out of my comfort zone. But I didn't think about it too much. And I booked the tickets and I went and did it and it was one of the best things I've ever done. There's so many examples I could pull up of things I haven't thought about enough. And that is what made them so good. Because, like I said, if I'd thought about them too much or even probably the right amount, I wouldn't have done them. They were scary. They were, some of them, quite stupid, I suppose. So, not only does closing that gap mean that you get into action faster, but it gives you less time to overthink things and kind of bring up all the bad reasons why something might go wrong. A lot of people like to think, what if it all goes wrong? What if it all goes wrong? They like to catastrophize. Again, evolutionarily, we prefer to be pessimistic because if there's a bush over there, does it lend more to our survival to believe that the rustle that we just heard is, I don't know, something safe or something dangerous, something that's going to kill us? Well, it lends to our survival to believe that it's dangerous and it's going to kill us and it's, worst case scenario. It keeps us safe. Catastrophizing keeps us safe, kept us safe. But in a day and age where pretty much everything's quite safe, it just keeps you away from things that are scary. Now, scary doesn't necessarily mean unsafe. Scary is just, I don't know, you being a pussy, I suppose. They're growth experiences. They're things that you'll look back on and you'll be happy to have done, but we're evolutionarily pessimistic in that we want to catastrophize each situation. So we think, what could go wrong? What's the worst case scenario? Now, flip that on its head, right? Next time you're going to go do something, what's the best case scenario? What if it all goes right? What if nothing goes wrong, right? And, more likely some things will go wrong, some things will go right. So neither of those, best case scenario, worst case scenarios are going to happen. But the best case scenario is going to mean you get up and do it and face whatever the issues are on the way. You're an adult. You can deal with issues. You can deal with adversity. You don't need to avoid doing things just because they are scary or just because everything might go wrong. So, don't be a pussy. Don't overthink things. Close the gap. And you will live a much better life. You'll live a much fuller life where things aren't just talked about all the time. You have friends that will talk about things and never do things. You will talk about things and never do things. Just vacillating. It's fucking mind-numbing sometimes. And I think this is going to sound quite wanky, and I don't want it to, but I don't think there's any other way around it. When you stop talking and start doing, you start to notice the talkers, and they start to annoy you a little bit. Now, this isn't to say you don't like the people. I love my friends. Not a lot of them are just talkers, a lot of them are doers. Most of them are doers. That's why I'm friends with them. But I do know a few people that are chronic talkers and not doers. And ever since realizing that I should stop talking about things and start doing things and then talk about them while I'm doing them, the thought of people just constantly bringing things up and talking about things, it gets to you. Because you understand that all they have to do is start doing the thing and then they can finally, no shit, it hasn't worked out yet. You haven't started. You've just talked about doing it. Now I'm going to stop on that little rant because I can't be bothered. But stop talking, start doing. When you start doing, you'll start to notice the talkers. You'll start to notice what you sounded like. And it is something you'll find quite funny, probably. So, there is this barrier between talking and doing that everyone gets stuck at. Most people get stuck at. And what's interesting about this is, again, this is all coming from experience of mine. This isn't me just theorizing. This is exactly how I used to feel and used to act. There's this comfort in talking, and there's this, fear in doing. And this big gap between them that you're afraid to close. You almost feel like something needs to come along and do it for you. Something needs to come and sign you up for that event. Something needs to come and plan that trip. Something needs to come and save you, almost. You just kind of remove all the autonomy from yourself, and you will talk about doing these things. Not even just big events, even holidays, right? A trip with friends. The fact that it's a meme that, when the trip finder makes it out of the group chat is because people believe things will just happen for them and happen to them if they think about them enough or they want them enough. And it's why now if I have trips with people, I very early on, I will ask if this is something we're talking about or if this is something we're actually going to go and do. Because I don't want to talk about something that I'm not going to go and do. Why the fuck would I do that? Because it just makes me miss out on it. So you need to realize that nothing is coming to close that gap for you. Sometimes some people have a friend that will, plan the trip and do that kind of thing. So I suppose someone kind of is. But generally, most of the things you want to do, you will have to take the step, take the effort to close that gap yourself. No one's going to come and, organize that thing for you, buy that ticket for you, quit that job for you. There's comfort in talking. Again, there's comfort in talking and there's fear in doing. But I think the doers become happier people in the long run because they do the things they want to do. That's simple maths, right? You do the things you want to do, you become happier. Even if things go wrong, even if things go so catastrophically fucking wrong. And what? You did the thing, you learned the lesson, you figured it out. You don't lose, you learn, right? Win or learn. Those are your two options. So, again, close the gap yourself. No one's coming to save you. Plan the thing, book the ticket, talk to the person, quit the job, go for the promotion, You are autonomous in your own life. This story isn't pre-written for you. You have complete control. People need to realize that they have the decision power in their own life. I know, again, I am talking from a massively privileged position where I have little responsibilities. I don't have kids. I don't have whatever, right? Like I have very little responsibility. So my privilege is high, right? In that I don't really have to think about many other things when I make decisions. But still, even if you're in your inner life where there are a lot of other things, a lot of other factors, you still have decision autonomy. You are still the person that makes the final decisions in what you want to do. And I think if you realize that you can go and do things on a whim without much planning, go on a trip, go on a weekend getaway, go on this, go on that, break the routine, just fucking go and do shit. If you can take one thing from this podcast, just go and do shit, because you will look back, even if it's just a wild walk on a weekend. I went and did a walk on the weekend completely alone, and I had a great time. It was 2 and a bit hours, chatted to some strange old bloke, went swimming in a river somewhere I've never been before, just popped up all trails, found a route that looked cool, went and did it. And that was only, 2-3 hours of a Saturday afternoon, but fuck me, did it make my weekend, Whereas if I'd just gone, it's 12 o'clock, so I'll just stay inside for the rest of the day, right? Like, what the fuck? Make the decisions, go and do the things, go and have fun and make memories and shit, right? You can go and do things so quickly that don't take up much time, that still allow you to explore and make more memories. I'll save that kind of thing for another podcast, because I think that I've got a lot on stuff like that I want to say. But I am going to talk through the 2 things that I have signed up for, kind of. Well, one of them I've signed up for, the other one I can't really sign up for. I'm just sending. Coffee's been scolded. Now we've got Fanta Lemon. Don't judge the drink choice. Listen to this. Oh, baby. Loud. Okay. We're in. This is the exciting bit, for me at least. This is the stuff that is cool. So, also, ignore the feet. I'm not wearing socks. It's hot. I'm in my own house. Get fucked. Number one thing that I've signed up for. I'm on my laptop because I'm going to talk you through it. It's called Athex. I wanted to do it for probably a year since I found out about it. I think it looks sick. It's in Dublin on the 6th of September. And it is not Hyrox. I repeat, it is not a Hyrox. I'm not going to say you'll never see me doing a Hyrox. But there's no plans. And I won't do one if I can help it. If it's for charity, maybe. So, Athex is essentially, it is a hybrid-ish competition, but it's more so, like Hyrox isn't hybrid. There's barely any strength in it. Sorry, you're pushing a sled, not strength. Get fucked. It's just a running race with a few stations in it, in my opinion. Sorry to everyone that does Hyrox out there. The partner that I'm doing this with is literally a Hyrox girly, so I can't say much there. I don't necessarily find it very interesting. This I find quite interesting. So it's broken down into 3 zones. You have a strength zone, an endurance zone, and a metcon. So, strength zone. So you go in, I'll get ready, I'll get set up. I do a 3 rep max pull up. I do a 5 rep max back squat and a 10 rep max strict press. So, tough shit. Really quite tough shit. I did a trial of it yesterday. I'm happy with my numbers. I got like a 30 kilo 3 rep max pull up, 140 kilo 5 rep max back squat, and then like a 55 kilo strict press, 10 rep max, which is going to be my POV. My overhead press is fucking dead, like dreadful. So that's going to be my full down. Then you break 20 minutes or something, you go into the endurance zone, which is 12-minute max distance bike, 12-minute max distance cycle. So one of you start on the bike, one of you start on the track, and then after 12 minutes, you switch and you see how far you can get. Very interesting. That's going to be tough. But that's why I'm going to do it. because it pushes me out of my comfort zone. It's something I haven't even thought about doing before. I've got like 7 weeks to train for it. So we're just going to see. Just fuck around and find out. That's generally I'm not going in to win. Sorry, all the bros that are like, what's the point in competing if you're not going to win? Well, it's fun. It's fun, right? It's an experience. So I'm not going in to win. I'm going in to do my best and try not to die. Then you break for like 30 minutes. And then you go into the final thing, which is a Metcon, which is a 50-calorie row, 40 dual dumbbell thrusters, 30 box jump overs, 20 synchro burpees, 10 sandbag ground to shoulders, and then it goes back up. So 20 synchro burpees, 30 box jump, 40 thrusters, 50-calorie row, 25-minute time cap. That's pairs. So, 20 dual dumbbell thrusters. I could do 20. My friend could do 20. I could do 30. She could do 10, right? So you can kind of split up however you want. The person I'm doing this with is Clodagh Neville, the girl with pink hair, as you might know her otherwise, that is all over my Instagram with me, like, flexing around her. It's our signature pose. But we decided to go and do it when I was in Manchester a few weeks ago, just because I brought it up, and I think it's fucking great fun. We're going to Dublin to do it on the 6th of September. We're flying over in the morning. We're flying back in the evening. It's going to be an intense day, but I'm very excited. I've never competed in anything, really. I've competed in team sports my whole life. Rugby, basketball, that kind of thing, athletics. I suppose I've competed in individual events in athletics, but it doesn't really count. I was a kid. This is the kind of first actual event I've ever competed in as an adult, so I'm very excited about it. Will I win? No, probably not. Will I enjoy myself? Almost definitely. We're going to be matching. We're going to wear matching clothes, which is cute. And I'm super excited. Again, I've got like 7 weeks to train for it. There's a lot of gaps in here that I'm not confident on. All the strength stuff, I should be fine. That's what I train for. The endurance stuff will be a tough one, and the Metcon should be very interesting. But I'll train for it for 6-7 weeks, and we'll see how we fare. I got ChatGPT to write me a program. I know my holes in my programming. I don't really program for endurance or for hybrid stuff at all, really, other than like very base level hybrid, lifting and running with no real specific performance goals. So I got ChatGPT to sort me out a program. It looked all right from my end, so I'm going to follow it and we'll see what happens. Fuck around and find out, man. You put yourself in situations. Again, if I'd thought about this for any longer and gone, oh, well, it's going to be hard and I'm not going to win, and I wouldn't have done it. But you bought the tickets. I'm signed up now. Fuck it. Let's find out, right? Let's go. Let's give it my all. And let's give it a go. How sick is it to be able to go, I want to go do this. I'm going to go and do this. Rather than, I want to go do this and then never do anything about it. What is the point? I don't see the point in talking and not doing. No point in it. So this is number one. This is actually the less exciting of the two things that I've got lined up. The second one is a big one. The second one is a very big one that I'm super excited about, and I will break down. So, I was thinking that I didn't have enough cool stories. And I've always loved, I love traveling. I love seeing new places. I love slumming it, basically, more or less. I like kind of thugging it out and just seeing how I get through countries and places and things. I think it's really exciting. But obviously now where I coach, I run a business, and it's quite hard to drag yourself away from those things, because the thing about being able to work anytime, anywhere is that you work all the time wherever you are. So it's quite a tricky thing to balance. And I can't, I've got no boss that I can message and go, hey, mate, I'm going to take these 3 weeks off. Have fun. Because my clients rely on me. And I love doing what I do. So why, it's not a feasibility to take time off. Not that I'd ever want to. But I do love traveling and exploring and doing these things, which do require you to be a little bit less work-oriented and a little bit more fun and travel-oriented. So I was thinking, I want to get some more stories under my belt, but I don't want to be away for a long time. Now, to me, going somewhere for a week or 2 weeks is a little bit fucking useless, because time goes so quickly because you're not doing anything. Like, even if you go backpacking, you just 2 weeks isn't enough to go and see anywhere properly, because you're spending, you spend 3 days in a hostel, then you're on to the next, and before you know it, you've done 3 hostels and it's time to go home, right? So I was thinking, what can I possibly do to extend time in a 2 week period make me see loads of places, get great experience under my belt, and get loads of cool stories. And this was just before I went out to Ibiza. I came up with this. And I have decided to cycle the length of Spain. Top to bottom, or bottom to top. I haven't decided yet. But cycle across Spain. It's along the N630, which is essentially a road that was the main road, top to bottom from Spain. And then they built a motorway next to it. So it's always empty and just like a really great cycle road. So that's really exciting. It's about 1,000 kilometers. And I'm going to do it over 2 weeks. We're going to do it for charity. I haven't decided what charity yet. We need to have a talk. If anyone has any ideas for charities that they're passionate about, reach out to me. Message me on Instagram, Jude Coaching. Let me know. And we can potentially, put them in the mix to decide. I say we because I had this idea to do it myself. And then 2 days later, I was in Ibiza and I brought it up. And my friend Sam VPT, the fucking boy, Sam Vaughan, basically said, kind of as a joke, oh, but if you need anyone to do it with, let me know, I'd be up for that. And I went, really? And that started that. So me and Sam have decided to do it. We're going to do it together over the course of 2 weeks for a charity. We're going to wild camp most of it within legal regulations. Obviously, never going to break the law. For legal reasons, Your Honour, I did not just wink. I had a piece of dirt in my eye. And, yeah, it should be fun. A lot of wild camping. My thought process was that if you go somewhere for 2 weeks, time goes really quick. If you're cycling, 70-ish kilometers a day for 2 weeks, that makes time go quite slow. And I, obviously, as you might know, speak a little bit of Spanish. I've been doing Duolingo for nearly 1,400 days now. That's my streak. I think it's 1,350 maybe. That's my streak. Very proud of it. Again, not fluent, but I can speak Spanish to some degree. And let's give it a go. Fuck it, why not? Put some skills to the test. It's only 2 weeks, which isn't a super long time to be away. And it doesn't mean that, I have to do anything business-wise other than keep running it the way I run it, which is exciting. So I'm really excited. There's not really much to talk through in terms of that because we haven't done much planning. I'm getting a bike very soon, hopefully. Currently don't have a bike. I'm going to do it on a gravel bike. I'm thinking about a Canyon Grizzle 5. So again, I don't imagine there's many gravel bikers out there that have much recommendations for bike packing bikes, but the Canyon Grizzle 5 looks like the one I'm going to do it on. We're yet to decide on most of the specifics other than the road we're following. That's kind of it. We know the road we're following. We don't even know if we're going top to bottom or bottom to top. But early October is the launch date. I say the launch date. I've got to be in Edinburgh on the 3rd for one of Lewis Potts, the main man. One of his events. And then, so we'll probably go some point, 6th, 7th maybe. And we're going to fucking send it. And we're going to see. And I just think, again, thinking about talking and doing, I was talking about this for a short amount of time before I started getting the cogs in place. I do think talking about things can be useful sometimes when you're telling people that you're going to do things that you're convinced you're going to start doing. Because then if you don't, then they will check up and be like, why didn't you talk about doing this? I knew that if I talked about riding the length of Spain and I didn't do it, people would be like, well, what the fuck is that about? You talked about doing it, why aren't you doing it? So I think that's really important. But mainly, just understand that you need to start doing, you need to stop talking. Talking doesn't get you anywhere, but it gives you a similar feeling to doing things, which is fucking dangerous. Stop talking, start doing. I've got 2 very exciting things coming up that if I had given more time to think about or just wanted to talk about more, I probably wouldn't be doing. And it's these last 2-3 weeks have really highlighted to me the importance of the speed of action. The speed of action is one of the most important things in anything, in business, in relationships, in work, whatever it is in fitness, the speed at which you can make a decision and then act upon it will be evident in the results you get in anything. Again, whether it's work, business, fitness, anything, right? So the speed of implementation will be either your best friend or your biggest downfall. You've got to think about something and then do it and then talk about it, right? Don't fucking vacillate and talk and, oh, well, I want to move to this country, or I want to go and do this, and I want to go do this, and then take absolutely 0 steps to go and do those things. Because 1, it pisses off the people around you. 2, it pisses you off. I think there's a 3rd. I don't know. 3 sound better. Pisses you off. Pisses off the people around you. It's a bad look, really. It's quite a bad look. And you end up with a bad life. Not a bad life, but you end up with a probably less optimized life than if you were to do all the things you talked about. Because if you did all the things you talked about, you'd probably have an incredible life. Some things you want to do, you might not be able to do. They might not be feasible physically. There might be, bigger challenges than you'd expected. Awesome, no problem. But just try them. Don't keep putting things off and waiting for something to come and save you, someone to come and save you, something to do the work for you. Because at the end of the day, you're born alone, you die alone. You have to make decisions for yourself. What's best for you, what's best for the people around you, sometimes. And no one is coming to save you or to fix your life or to, do anything for you. But that's kind of it. I think I'm probably just going to leave it there, because otherwise I'll just keep going over the same stuff that I've already talked about. Stop talking, start doing, close the gap. The speed of implementation is your best friend. I've got exciting things coming up. I will get Clodagh on the podcast. That's a massive bird. Sorry. I will get Clodagh on the podcast to talk about Athex, and I will get Sam on the podcast to talk about Spain once things are a little bit more planned. It's very exciting times. Very exciting times. We've got summer. It's hot as fuck. I was going to wear a hoodie for this podcast, but I started sweating before I even started recording, so I took it off. It's hot. It's sunny. Go out for walks. Speak to your friends. Love the people around you. Tell them that you love them. Smile more. Be happy. Close the gap. Speed of implementation. All of that. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Again, I will just sit and talk for most of these. I'll talk about strategies that you can implement with your health and fitness as well, but also the mindset side of things. This kind of stuff is massive to me. Just the actual habits, the habit stuff, and just being able to dictate your life a little bit more is really important to me. And it's stuff I talk about a lot with the people I work with. So I think why not bring it to a wider audience, right? But yeah, anything I find interesting, anything that I feel like you would benefit from a little chat about, I will come on here and chat. There will be guests. At the moment, it's just me on my ones, and I'm loving it, actually. I'm loving sitting down and talking to a camera. It's quite fun. So yeah, thank you very much for listening to the podcast. You know where to find me. Jude Venn Coaching everywhere. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. Don't go on the TikTok though. Don't fucking don't go on TikTok. I would say like and subscribe, but I don't think you can rate the podcast 5 stars. Just rate it 5 stars, or rate it an appropriate rating that you think it is. I'd be happy either way. Subscribe, follow the podcast, leave a review, leave a comment, do something. Follow me on Instagram. I don't know, man. These are all spiels. Anyway, have a good rest of your day. Thank you for listening. This has been the Middle Ground Podcast with Jude Venn, and we are out.